I'm not a very confident person. I'm pretty good at faking it, but in reality, I don't really believe in myself very often, if ever. I'm very soft spoken. I don't stick up for myself. I don't stand up for myself. I don't confront people about things. I'm very shy, very introverted, and just not very confident. And I wish it's something I could change. I'm not really sure how you gain more confidence. I think you kind of have to build at it or work at it, or maybe nobody has confidence and everybody's just really good at faking it. But I am not the best. I'm sometimes I'm pretty good at it, but not very often. A lot of the times I just am very hard on myself. I am my own biggest critic. It's been an issue for a long time, I feel like. And like I said, I'm not really sure how to fix that or change that. Not sure if I'm just lacking, what's the word, reassurance. And it makes me just not, or has made me, led me to not be very confident in the things that I do. But really, it's always been this way. I've always been very soft spoken. I don't like to stick up for myself. I don't like to speak out when something bothers me or whatever the case is. For the most part, if it's not gonna completely change a whole lot, if I know that it's not really gonna change anything, that I'm not really gonna bother to do anything about it, if that makes sense. I'm not really sure if that does. Like at work, if I'm mad about something, like yesterday, I was so mad that my boss was telling me he needed me to come in on Saturday or something, and I was so mad about it. I went and ranted to my coworker about how stupid it was, and it was like, if we're supposed to put in our vacation 2 weeks ahead of time, then he's supposed to schedule me 2 weeks ahead of time, or he should have had this figured out 2 weeks ago instead of last minute. All of a sudden, you need me when I got my own plans going on, and I was so mad about it. Whatever. And then in reality, well, that was reality. But then in the moment when my boss comes back over to me to talk to me about it, I'm, throwing a smile, super friendly, super nice, whatever. It's like, oh, I'm not sure if that'll work out. I'll have to talk around and see what I can do and whatever. And it's like, I knew, or I do know, the reality of it is that I'm not gonna go in, I'm not gonna come into work, whatever. And I'm just gonna be way friendlier about it than I want to be. I'm gonna be way nicer, and I'm not gonna say what I really feel. And I mean, I don't think that's always a bad thing. I think there's a time and a place to say what you feel, how you feel, but just don't ever. I really never do. I really am not good about saying what I really feel, at least when it's something more negative feeling or something that's going against what people want from me or for me or whatever. I don't like to stick up and speak out. I'd rather just keep the peace and keep it moving. And I don't know. I suppose in some cases it's not really a good thing because you'll act a little differently if you're saying one thing, doing another. But it's not so much that I will lie and do the opposite of what I'm being asked or what I'm being told. It's more so I just will do whatever and be upset about it and not tell anybody about it. I'll just keep it all to myself, and maybe it'll turn into a grudge or some sort of resentment or something of the sort. But for the most part, I don't know, I don't really hold grudges against people or things, whatever. I just don't really speak up about it. I don't really tell how I'm feeling. Like I said, I'm very soft spoken. I don't like to really tell people how I feel about anything for that matter. But when it comes to confrontations and sticking up for yourself, I'm the last person to. I will much rather just shove it back, keep it down, whatever will make everybody else happy. Doesn't really matter how I feel about it. And that's just not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. And you really should have confidence in yourself or stand up for yourself in the moments that you need to. And I wish I could give some better examples as to what that might be or what that might look like. But being somebody who's doesn't and is not very good at it, I don't have a lot I can say for good time and good place and etc. This is not a good situation here. But it's definitely a bit draining to always try to keep the peace and to just, I guess, just being a pushover is really what it is. I really am just a pushover. I don't fight back very often. I don't really, like I said, I don't really care to confront people about a lot of things. If anything, I would much rather just keep it to myself and keep it moving. Like I said, I think I'm just quite a bit of a pushover where I am quick to not really, I guess I'm quick to let people just walk all over me in a sense. Not really, well, I can't say not really because I really do. I just let people kind of use me in a way, but not in such a, it sounds so dramatic when you say that. And like, I don't really, I don't know if that's really the right way to word it, but if you're not standing up for yourself, if you're not saying how you feel or prioritizing your feelings over somebody else, you kind of are being pushed over in a sense, or at least in my sense, in my case, it's kind of what it is I just let people do what they want to do or what they're gonna do and don't really give it any mind as to how I feel about it. Or even, I mean, obviously I give it mind as to how I feel, but I don't really speak out. I don't really say anything about it. If it bothers me or whatever, I'll just keep it to myself and do it anyways. And it's not always a bad thing. There's a lot of situations where you kind of have to be that way. You kind of have to just ignore your own feelings and do it because you're told or do it because it's the right thing to do. But it's kind of been a situation in my life as of lately that I'm tired of doing what I'm told to do or what feels like I'm supposed to do. And I guess to help with that, I've been trying to speak out more about what I feel or how I feel and try to just prioritize me a little more than I usually do. So it's kind of led me to this point where I want to speak out on things and I want to speak up for myself, and I still just kind of don't because I am not confident in myself and I'm not just not a very outgoing person in that aspect where I feel like I can speak up for myself or I can speak out on things. And like I said, I wish I had better examples as to give. I think my best ones would be going to work and things at work being told like, hey, I need you to do so and so, even though it's not your job. And I'll just smile and nod my head when in the back of my mind I'm screaming and throwing a fit, if you will. Or I'll just go and vent to my coworkers about how annoyed I am and how stupid it is and how I shouldn't have to do so and so's job for them, and then I go and do it anyways. And I don't, I complain and I complain and I complain, but I'll never speak up against whoever. And it's not even necessarily because it's like my boss or anything and they have that position of power over me. It's just because I don't want to. I don't feel confident in myself. I don't want to embarrass myself and stutter over my words, or I don't want to piss somebody off and then they're mad at me or they think I'm mad at them or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it is that makes me so non-confrontational. I I do think it's probably rooted somewhere in my low confidence, my low self-esteem, my lack of self-worth, if you will. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then you're pretty easy to just shut yourself down and not care about your own feelings. I mean, you should care about your own feelings. They're your feelings. And if you don't care about your feelings, then why would anybody else, you know? I think that's a big root of my problem too, is I don't tend to care about how I feel. So then I get surprised when it seems like nobody else does. But if nobody knows how you feel because you don't ever talk about how you feel because you don't care about how you feel, then how is anyone else going to? I know, very repetitive, but it's true. Very true. Nobody's gonna care if nobody knows. And I mean, a lot of people just don't care anyways. Maybe that's what's led me to be so sheltered with my feelings and my doing, is that I'm so used to people just not caring. That's okay. That scared me. Anyways, maybe that's what's led me to be this way, is I'm used to people just not caring, so why try anyways? But okay. But I don't know. I'd like to care. I'd like to be confident in myself, and I'd like to be able to stand up for myself and push for the things I feel like I deserve or that I want. But like I said before, is I'm not really sure how to gain confidence. I'm not really sure how you build that up or how to undo what's already so normal in my brain of being this way, of being so soft spoken and so just to myself about things. I'm sure, but it does get real tiring feeling like I am just a afterthought to everybody, and that's really my own fault. As I said, it's because I don't make myself a priority, and I don't make anybody else make me a priority for that matter. I don't, if I seem like I'm okay with everything, then no one's gonna think otherwise, you know? If you just go with it all the time, every time, then no one's ever gonna think anything else. They think you're just gonna be fine with it. You're just okay with whatever the situation is or whatever. This is not good. They're not really gonna be questioning whether or not you're really okay with it. And I mean, there's people with good hearts out there that can tell or just are empathetic and will double, triple check and make sure, like, oh, you're okay with this or whatever. But a lot of people are going to just take that to their advantage. That if you say it's okay, they're not going to give it a second thought and they're going to just do it anyways. Because I'm very quick to just say, oh, yeah, it's okay, that's great, whatever. Even if it's not great or okay or whatever. It's just easier that way. It's easier to just say yes or just nod your head and smile. It's a lot, it opens up a lot more room for complications if you disagree or if you just feel a certain type of way about whatever. So fucking stupid. There's no good examples that I have here, and it just makes me sound so stupid. Just tired of being pushed around, and it's my own fault. So, like I said, I don't stand up for myself, so it's silly for me to, I guess, complain about when I'm doing it myself, but it's been this way forever. I've always been a pushover. I've always just been so easy to accept whatever is given to me instead of fighting for more or fighting for better. I am very, I just tend to go with you get what you get, and that's it. You don't fight for better, you don't fight for more, you don't fight for change. You get what you get and you go on with your time, go on with your day, whatever. And that's really not how it should be. It's really not, I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. You shouldn't just accept it as you get what you get. You should get what you want or what you deserve or what you need in any aspect of life, your work, your relationship, your friendships. I mean, don't be an asshole and don't only prioritize yourself over anybody else's feelings, but depending on the situation, you really should be an asshole and you really should prioritize yourself over other people's feelings, especially like at work. You should always, in my opinion, prioritize yourself. I guess it depends on where you work and the kind of job that you do, but like for me, it's very basic, just normal retail, night stock, whatever. It's not a very important job in the grand scheme of the world. So prioritizing myself is like doing the work that I want to do or doing less work than I should have to do instead of feeling like I'm doing everybody else's things for them. Prioritize myself. Don't stay those extra hours trying to finish the job when at the end of the day it really doesn't matter. It's all going to be there tomorrow and it's all going to be the exact same, and nobody's going to give you a pat on the back for going the extra mile, but they're always going to get mad at you if you short or if you just don't do enough and whatever. But at this point in my life, I don't really care. At least I'm trying not to care because I care about me. I care about my feelings more and how I'm doing more than I care about what people want me to do or how people want me to feel. I want to I want to prioritize me because I've been doing the opposite for way too long now, and I'm just drained of trying to be perfect for everybody else, and still at the end of the day I have no belief or confidence in myself because all I do is try to please everybody else instead of trying to please me. Just it's exhausting, and I wish there was an easy way to just flip it, like many times, many times in my life. I wish I had like a light switch in my brain that I'm feeling a certain way and I could just flip it to be the opposite. Like you feel hard on yourself and then you flip a little switch and then you have a huge inflated ego or something, or just sad, flip it, you're happy, whatever. But it's not that simple. It'll never be that simple. Maybe it'll be that simple one day, I don't know. Maybe I'll get my emotions in check or go to therapy or something and everything will be simple, but I don't know. The brain is a interesting thing and feelings are annoying as all hell. I I guess I'm tired of feeling feelings because they lead me to feeling negative or feeling low on myself, but I can't really help it. I've always been this way. I've never had a lot of confidence. I've never had a lot of belief in myself. So it's just kind of how I seem to be stuck anymore is feeling like I deserve whatever is given to me, good or bad. Well, not really good, but bad. I feel like when I'm given good things or good things happen to me, I tend to question why that is or why things are going right. Whereas when something bad happens or just negativity in general is more normal to me, so it feels proper, I guess. It feels like what I'm meant for, what I deserve is the worst possible outcome because that's kind of just how it's always been. Which I mean, that's not necessarily true, but that's kind of just how it's always felt is that I've always gotten the short end of the stick, and so I'm just used to it. I'm just accepting of it and almost expecting of it anymore. So I always am assuming the worst. Maybe they're rooted in the same issue of this low self-esteem, low self-confidence, or maybe I'm just a really pessimistic person. I'm not too sure, but hoping one of these days, one of these videos, I can come on here and ramble And by the end of the video, I'll have an answer. And I'll say, oh, yeah, it is just, I feel this type of way because I do this certain action or this certain behavior, and it's rooted in this certain point of my life where this certain thing happened, whatever. But I don't. I don't have those answers. I just sit here and talk, and maybe I'll figure it out. Makes me feel better, makes me understand myself a little better, makes me believe in myself a little more, knowing, like, I don't know, knowing that I don't know. That's really quite a sentence there, but truthfully, it does. Things like this, talking about things like this, my low self-esteem, my low self-confidence really kind of helps me believe in myself a little stronger, because I know that I feel this way and I know that I have the ability to change it. I just have to actually do it. And if I keep it all to myself and keep it all inside, then I'm never gonna do anything to try to change how I feel or how I act. So I like to come on here and just ramble a little bit and talk about my feelings a little bit, and maybe it'll lead me to, maybe I'll be building that self-confidence. I mean, I really have been making these videos for a month or so now, has really built up my self-confidence in talking, and just in general, I feel much more comfortable having longer conversations with people at work. Like, I really don't like talking to people. I try to avoid people as much as I can because I just, like I said, I'm soft-spoken, I'm introverted, I'm shy. I don't like talking to people, but it's because I feel like I just sound stupid a lot. I'm very hard on myself. I'm very critical of my own thinking and my own phrases, and I tend to catch myself like running through conversations in my head. Like, if I was talking to somebody at work, a few hours later I find myself running through that same conversation, and I'm just like, why the hell did I say that? Why would I ever say something so stupid like that? Or, why did you feel the need to tell that person every little detail about your life or whatever? I just, but tired of it. I'm tired of the second guessing myself and questioning myself, and just, even if it's something minimal, not even, which 90% of the time it is, because I don't really have deep conversations with my coworkers, and I still find myself like, wow, you sound so stupid. Why would you say something like that? That's so embarrassing, and it's just annoying as hell. It's just this little demon in my shoulder that's just constantly reminding me of how stupid I sound or how stupid I am. And I don't want to think I'm stupid. I don't want to think I'm embarrassing. Yet I do all the time, constantly full of embarrassment, full of low self-esteem, low confidence, just never really believing in myself. But you gotta. If you don't believe in you, then who's gonna? And I've learned that firsthand, is that if you don't, I mean, I suppose part of it is you gotta give people a reason to believe in you, right? But I don't know. I think a good friend or good supporter will believe in you no matter what. Family, friend, supporter, whatever you want to call them. Just good people in your life as a whole will believe in you no matter what the situation is. But you gotta believe in yourself too. You can't just rely on the belief of other people having hope for you or having confidence in you is not always going to be an, oh my god. Okay, well, I, what was I saying? I don't know. Point being, you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta have self-confidence. Stick up for yourself. And by no means is it an easy thing to do. As I said in the beginning, I don't really know how to build confidence or how to rewire my brain into believing in myself better, but it is very important. It's very, very important to have that confidence, have that belief, and to prioritize yourself when the time is needed. It's not all the time, but a lot of the time, you should always be prioritizing you over other people because you matter just as much as everyone else does, and you should matter the most to yourself before anyone, in my opinion. But I think that's really all I have to say today. Pretty all over the place, I know, but thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. If you enjoy my nonsense and my rambling, I got plenty more where that came from. And you should check out this video that YouTube thinks you'll like.